What is up, guys? Today we're talking about a lot of developments happening in the Sims community because as of today, June 13th, players are gearing up for a Players Alliance funeral rally taking place outside EA's Orlando office. This event has sparked a lot of discussion across social media, so we're going to be getting into that, as well as the fallout from EA's recent buyout controversy, creators leaving the EA Curator Network, Project X rumors, the new Sim kits, and the future of the DLCs, and what exactly is happening with the franchise. We're also going to be talking about the Sims franchise and where it might be headed after more than 10 years. So we're going to be jumping all into that, and of course I would love to know your opinions down below in the comments. So if you guys have them, please leave them because I do love reading them. Now, with that all being said, what is up, guys? My name's Simian. My name is Yin. I play The Sims. Did you see what I did there? And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Guys, we are talking all things life sim in this channel, so if you have anything you want me to review, go ahead and leave it down below. But we're going to be jumping straight into the topic, and of course this is thanks to the simscommunity.info, so you'll see this article down below in the description if you want to read it for yourself. And there's just an overall a lot of controversy in general, but we're going to get straight into it. Many long-term supporters of The Sims have been very frustrated with bugs, broken updates, lack of communication, monetizing concerns, the marketplace rollout. But one of the biggest things that has happened is the EA buyout. Last year, The Sims had one of the most controversial years to date, and they are now throwing a casket funeral will be held for the future of gaming as a protest in front of EA Orlando, Florida. So with that all being said, the article does continue to say that following the protest at EA headquarters, the demanding the federal regulators block the proposed EA buyout, gamers with the Player Alliance HQ will stage a funeral-themed rally at EA's Orlando offices to mourn the studio's jobs, affordability, creative freedom, and inclusivity within the games at risk if the deal is approved. The article does go on to say that gamers will gather outside EA's Orlando office dressed in funeral attire with the gravestones, a casket, flowers, cosplay, and umbrellas for a funeral procession. Now, again, there has been over 70,000 gamers calling on regulators to block this deal, so people have been signing away, and of course there is a live stream which I'll link down below in the comments if any of you guys are interested in seeing everything progress. Now, I want to just talk about quickly, there is a lot of frustration among players regarding the game stability and monetization concerns and just overall direction of the franchise if this deal does go through. Personally, on the rally, I understand why many simmers are frustrated, but at the same time, I think opinions are split with, is this going to progress anything? I also understand why some simmers view it as performative, because if y'all look at it, it does look like it's not that it's wrong to protest the EA buyout rally, but I do think it's like, what is this going to do? It's almost like if you guys watched the last protest, it was just it was pretty interesting to see. I'd love to know your opinions down below. I've seen comments from players saying that symbolic funerals, social media campaigns, and dramatic protests and all that stuff don't necessarily lead to meaningful change, but I do agree with speaking up. We've seen creators leave the EA Creator Network. We've seen others step away from covering sim content entirely. And we've seen some longtime, supporters decide they're done purchasing DLC. So, of course, this is all in the air. As of right now, The Sims has not stated anything about that. They're actually doing a giveaway right now. So, there is definitely frustration building within the community. And the question is whether today's rallies actually creates change or if it simply becomes another moment in a long list of all these sim controversies that's going on right now. Because, again, we do know The Sims recently had posted and deleted Paralives. Now, you guys are probably like, what does that have to do with anything? But it's just a matter of The Sims kind of like not sure which direction they're going as far as just overall being supportive of everything that's going on. And just trying to stay in their lane and just let's just follow the timeline, let's just do what we said we're gonna do, because of course the people that are working at Maxis have absolutely nothing to do with the actual EA buyout. That's completely out of their control, and even they are just focusing on the quality of life roadmap for 2026 and trying to figure out what's going on. The team hasn't really said much publicly about the rally itself, but the team does appear to be focused and continuing to, make sure the roadmap is going where it's supposed to go. There's a lot of members and sim groups who do not agree with this at all. However, many players are still asking for something bigger and communication. So, and I don't know, y'all. Let me know down below how y'all feel about it. A lot of supporters for the Sims franchise in general are all asking about the Sims Summit as well, because behind the Sims Summit gave us a lot of detail of what was going on on and developers like kind of sat down and discussed upcoming features and gave players a better understanding of what was kind of being worked on behind the scenes. But I think another Sim Summit could go a long way towards rebuilding that trust and stating, hey, even though we have nothing to do up with the deal, this is where we're planning on going. But because everything has been so back and forth, again, everybody's just like, what's going on? Development appears to still be continuing to go as planned, but I think a lot of simmers are just growing tired of the same situation that they've been dealing with for years. Would love to know your opinions down below in the comments about that. I definitely want to get into the next topic, and that's concerning like the kits and DLCs and the future of the Sims just in general. So recently we've seen a lot of kits arriving, and many, players that are playing this game are beginning to wonder like whether kits are becoming the new primary content strategy, which we've all seen grow so fast. There's also been a lot of rumors talking about, expansion packs and how that it could even become less frequent because the development resources are being shifted kind of towards Project X. So they're not really paying much towards, just bigger expansion packs. We've seen the rumors like, oh, look, we're done with the expansion packs. And there's been so many leaks and kind of proof that they're pretty much done with, stuff packs, game packs, and expansion packs, and are focusing more so on that micro dopamine of sim players being able to have access to being able to purchase more packs with kits. So I don't know, y'all let me know. I think it's important to remember that this has not been officially confirmed by EA or the Sims team. I'm saying this all allegedly. Right now it's a largely like it's very speculation, okay? It's very speculation based on leaks, rumors, community. We all been talking about it all over social media, but I do understand why people are talking about it. They're faster to develop, easier to release, lower cost for players, easier impulse purchases. Again, it's gonna bring that dopamine to what a lot of players are looking for when trying to just overall see what's out there, see what's new. And I just feel like they are just catering towards that. And from a business perspective, it does make a lot of sense because players, it's working. And we've also seen how controversial the marketplace was. Many players were worried about like, oh, this is just microtransactions, which I completely agree. And the thing is, I thought that this was better for console, but others felt it was like kind of like this health creator ecosystem. But I think regardless of where you stand with this, the Sims team had previously indicated that the marketplace performances alone wouldn't determine the success of the franchise, like in general, because revenue was coming from multiple areas of the game. So they were like, it doesn't really matter what y'all gotta say. At the end of the day, it's going. So again, I do want to speak on the Project X and the future of the franchise very quickly before we close out this video. I think one of the most interesting discussions right now revolves around Project X because it's just so mysterious as far as where the Sims is going and what they're actually planning on doing. So I know a lot of simmers are saying that the Sims 4 is essentially serving as the foundation of the future sim experiences, because they did say that Project X will live alongside the Sims 4. And so the theory is that they're going to basically continue bug fixes and like all these tech improvements, and eventually the Project X is going to benefit off both projects because they're going to share similar systems or technology. So I think they're testing all of this out on the Sims 4 first. Again, that's just speculation that has been going around, but it does explain why many players are paying close attention to like every single patch update or any news regarding Sims, because every time a patch releases, we usually see the same conversation. One thing getting fixed, like two things end up getting broken, and that cycle has been one of basically the biggest frustrations within the community. So for some players, it reached the point where they're kind of taking breaks from the franchise entirely, and I totally understand that. But I do believe at the end of the day, The Sims remains one of the biggest live simulation franchises in gaming history, and there's definitely a lot of talk, whether it's good or bad, they definitely have publicity going on for them. I do feel like again, Sims 4 survived more than a decade, and it definitely introduced a lot of features. So EA has repeatedly said that they plan to continue supporting it for years to come, but there are still a lot of questions that's going on, and I'm still really interested in what's going on with the Sims Summit. Will Project X, like, what's going on? Is it going to replace the traditional Sims releases, like how they've been going? And just overall the kits, like, what's going on? Because our kits, do y'all feel like the kits are the primary form of DLC now? And just overall, like, the Sims team rebuilding trust with longtime supporters that have been there since the beginning. And I don't know, because I want to just hear from y'all. Do y'all think, in the player alliance rally, do you feel like that's gonna make a difference? Be for real. And do you think it's like mostly just symbolic? And if you could ask the Sims team one question right now, what would it be? Y'all let me know down below in the comments. But whether you're a silent viewer, you like my videos, you share my videos, or you comment on my videos, at the end of the day, you still showed me some love, and for that, I thank you. Let me know how y'all are feeling. Let me know down in the description box. I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye.